On YouTube. My name is Tom with the Dividend Stock King with another video. Today we're talking about, I guess, two or three things I've done investing wise that were some of the best decisions I've ever made. Besides marrying my wife, number one, um, these are two of the best things besides that I did for investment and paying down debt. As you see here, this is my brokerage account. I've made 3,400. I'm getting another $700 because they pay weekly now for Yale Max, so that's what $4,200 a month. And a few things that I did that I do consistently every time I get paid, and I've been doing this for over 5 years now. And number one is we pay, me and my wife, we start paying down our mortgage. We start paying down our mortgage every time we get paid or every week. Now, we do $50 a piece a week. So pretty much $100 a week. So I said $200 a month and she said $200 a month. And what that does was it pays down the mortgage. It pays down the mortgage fast. When you do it consistently. It pays down the mortgage really fast. And the reason we pay it down because we want to pay the house off. We want to pay the house off and keep the house in the family to pass down generational wealth to our children, number one. And two, have a rental property in the future. And number three, we want to homeschool our kids. We want the option to homeschool our kids. So we're going to try to pay our house off probably in a year. So we're trying to pay it off as soon as we can so we can homeschool or just stay here, save money for another house, or go get a rental property. What do we want to do? That's the first thing we did. That's great for us financially. The second thing we did financially is invest. Invest in a brokerage account. I have $45,000 in my brokerage account. It took me, I started with COVID hit in 2020. We're in 2025. So it's been 5 years. This is what I did for the past 5 years. And I was consistent. I didn't waver. I've always, every time I got paid, was to pay bills, put a little bit towards the personal mortgage, and invested. Well, I got some money on the bonus. I drove for Uber. I make $100. I put 25 into investment. When I got tips for Uber, I make about 35, 40 bucks in tips. That night, I literally drove to an ATM, deposited the $40 into the ATM. After I deposited that money, went to my phone that same night, transferred $40 from my checking, and put in Robinhood, and bought stocks that night, and they filled in the morning. I did that for years, 2 or 3 years tops. I was doing that every single time. I did that. I got cash tips, and over time that builds up. When COVID hit and the barber shops was not taking clients anymore, my wife started to cut my hair. So what I did was I was saving, $20, $30 on a haircut. I said, well, there's a point in saving money. That money ain't going somewhere to beneficial. So every time she cut my hair, I put in $20 and put in the stock market. I'm not getting financial advice. This is what I did. I put in the stock market. The Upside app that I promote on my channel, that you get cash back on gas. I do it for 6 months. I make about $24. I cash out. I put in the stock market. When I can pay my paycheck, I put in the stock market. When I do Uber, I put a little bit in the stock market. I buy shares. I have a recurring investment of $50 a week. I had for the past 5 years. Well, the past year. I was doing bi-weekly when I get paid. Now I do it every week. So I'm trying to buy shares every week. Those actions led to me having $45,000 portfolio. Not only investing, but also have a Roth account. I have a Roth account. Now, the reason we start paying down the house, because right now we owe about $28,000 on a house, $27,000 on a house. And the reason I started my Roth, I think, 2 years ago, is my job was laying off people. I heard was coming. They were laying off a lot of people, and I was worried they were laying me off, or my wife off. We were in the same company. So what we did was we started down paying on the house anyway. I started a Roth account, kind of a nice chunk in my 401k, and I said, look, I have Uber to make some money. If I were to get laid off, hell, we only owe $30,000 on the house. I can pay the house off of 401k easy. So that's why, or back then it was like $50,000 left on the house. So I had enough money in my 401 to pay off the house if that were to come. But it didn't. It didn't lay me off. But we just still continue to pay the house off just in case I was getting laid off. So now, I mean, if I get laid off today, I have to pay the house plus a whole lot. I could drop $20,000 in my brokerage account if I wanted to. So that's why we pay on the house, for our security. That's why I started a Roth with high income funds, because I get my money back and it generates high yield. So those are some things that I've done in my life that help tremendously. Paying down the mortgage, right? Invest in a brokerage account, open a Roth. And I said in previous videos, if you start a Roth account and a brokerage account, you're ahead of 80% of people. You're ahead of 80%. There are many people have a 401k, but don't have a Roth, and they don't have a brokerage account. There's other people that will have a Roth but no brokerage account. If you have a Roth and a brokerage account, I believe you're ahead of 80% of people. You have 80% of the population. Because the population, I think 54% of Americans don't have $1,000 in savings for emergency. So those people don't have a Roth and a brokerage account if they have $1,000 in their savings. So that's why I'm saying that you're beyond other people. So this is what I've done. My wife and I have done in our family, and also my children. They both have brokerage accounts. My children got brokerage accounts. My children got 529s. We contribute every 2 weeks. My sons have dividend ETFs, and they get paid every week. They get paid every single week. They do. They get paid every week in their brokerage account. I set that up on purpose. They get paid every day in a brokerage account for long-term growth. They also have growth funds in their brokerage accounts, and they have a 529 for college. Those things right there put us ahead of 80% of people. 80%, because people. I mean, I had some family ask about, should I own my savings account for my kids? I'm like, a savings account. I'm not against that, but inflation will eat that up. But that's it for my video. These are things that I do in my business, but in my life. Just want to share it and pass on to you. My name is Tyler King. Thanks for watching.